MTA is interested in your thoughts about MTA services. That's why we feature a segment called Ask the MTA. On each Ask the MTA segment, we give you an opportunity to ask MTA personnel a question you have concerning transit. And here to answer your questions is Acting Manager of Service Delivery, George Deaver. We recently took to the streets for your customer concerns and questions, and here's our first one.
Hi, my name is Yvette Brunson, and I'm from Parkville, Maryland. And I'm wondering whether or not people actually save money in riding the MTA, the subway, or even the light rail instead of driving.
Now, this is a good question. You know, folks are asking now, how much money do you actually save by riding transit? Do we really know?
Well, actually, MTA doesn't have the exact figures, but you do take into account the rising gas prices,
right,
the wear and tear on your car,
exactly,
the parking, all of that comes into play. Now, there is a website, APTA. They have on there a calculation that you can put in the mileage of your car, how much you pay for parking.
And based on what city and everything else you live.
Based on what city, how much you pay for gas. And you put all that information and it will actually tell you how much you would save if you took public transportation as to riding in your own vehicle.
I think I heard a figure, I think it was last year, they said roughly a couple using transit saves about $9,800 a year riding transit, as opposed to having a two-car household going back and forth and parking and everything else, and that's just from Maryland. So let's hope they're correct.
It's a pretty high figure, yes it is.
Yeah. So our next question.
How come the buses don't run on the weekends on time?
Questions about weekend bus service. Now, weekend bus services, it's very different. It doesn't run as regular as normal bus service. Do we know if there are any problems with delays on weekend service?
Well, with weekend service, as you well know, you just stated, we reduce our service because we have less ridership. But what comes into play with weekend service is we have special events in Baltimore.
Right.
We have parades, we have festivals, we have all of these things.
Street closures.
And street closures, exactly. And in some of these situations, it does affect our service and will cause some delays in that service. But we have people out there that monitors the service when these things happen, and we're out there and we make adjustments to make sure that the riding public is not inconvenienced that much.
And I think you're right. You brought up a very good point. One of the things that people need to do is to check. The Baltimore City Department of Transportation will let you know where they're having road work.
Absolutely.
Because that could affect your route.
Absolutely.
Well,
it
that's
will
good
cause
information.
detours, yes.
It will cause detours and delays.
Yes, exactly.
Great.
Right.
Now our next question.
I ride bus 5 every day, and it's always crowded. So I was wondering, when are they going to add more bus to that route?
People always have questions about that 5, but didn't we do some things to that 5 in the last couple of years? We've added some things.
Right. Over the years, we have made adjustments in the number 5.
Okay.
And we, as far as the schedules, the running time and things like that, and it might have added a few buses.
Right.
But as of right now, we have no plans to add any more service to the number 5.
Now, did the 5 get an express, or was there something else that was added to that line a while ago?
They have supplemental service.
So they do have supplemental service that helps with the overcrowding.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but you know, that 5 is a popular route. It goes all the way from Sedonia over to Mondawmin. That's a huge route. That basically crosses the city. So.
And all my years, the 5 has always been.
It's always the way live on the 5.
Always.
That's what they say.
Absolutely.
And our next question.
They've started to give us messages every minute, and I just want to sit there quietly, read my newspaper, and wait for my train. The message thing is getting annoying, and a few people that maybe are not quite as patient or as mature as me have started to yell at the speaker.
You know, one of the things people hear these announcements that are coming on. I don't know if they understand the importance of having those safety messages. So are there plans to adjust that, or is there a reason why we have these safety messages running?
Well, the safety messages, when they first started using this new system back in November of 2011, there was a problem where the system was spitting out the announcements quite frequently.
Wow.
All right, but that has been fixed and adjusted. But we still have the announcements. There are the safety announcements. We also have the prohibited act announcements, to make sure that everyone knows what they're supposed to do when they ride our service.
Well, yeah, there are signs as well as announcements, so let's hope folks listen. But those are important messages, and there's to some degree there are federal guidelines that we have to announce these things about safety for people.
There's a lot of there's a lot in the messages, and if you really listen, because a lot of things that people don't know. They
Yeah.
know they're not supposed to do certain things, and they
But
think
they
that
stand too
can.
close to trains. They're
Exactly.
leaning over the track and
And-
looking down there. And we've had instances.
Right, and that's
yeah.
the purpose for the yellow stripping on there, is that you want to stay. You
Stand
want
back,
stand
not
back
not
behind
stand on it.
No,
stand
stand
back.
behind it.
There
Yes,
you go.
yes.
Okay, and our next question was a question, one we received by email. It's from a Jim Sanderson of Baltimore. Jim writes, I know the law forbids eating of food on transit vehicles, which I understand, but what about metro stations? Can customers drink a soda or eat snacks while waiting for a train's arrival? What's the rule pertaining to this? Now, this is sort of related to the other one. Can folks eat while they're at our metro stations or on the platform at the metro station?
No, they cannot.
Right.
Before they enter the metro station, they should have finished their
food
their
or their
meal,
cigarette
their
or whatever.
cigarettes, drinking their soda or whatever drink they have. It should be disposed of before you enter the metro station.
Yeah, and I think one of the things is just because you're neat doesn't mean your neighbor's going to be neat. We find instances where people will start eating a meal and they'll lay it right down on the bench.
Absolutely.
People will bring a food onto our buses and they'll leave it sitting right there on the buses, which draws vermin. It makes the buses smell and they're unsanitary. So a lot of the things, we can have cleaners, but we can't pull a bus out of service or a train out of service in the middle of the day or middle of rush hour to clean up food or debris. So people do have to, you know, it's a communal living environment. Everybody has to respect the rules.
Absolutely. You don't want to get up on a bus and sit on it.
No.
So why would you want to leave it there?
Right. Well, I thank you so much for joining
You're
us
quite
today.
welcome.
I think the questions were quite appropriate.
Yes, they were.
If you have questions you'd like to ask the MTA, visit our MTA television show link at mta.maryland.gov or drop us a line. Check us out on Facebook or Twitter. Now, thank you for joining with us today. We'll see you next time, and take care.